I was having a conversation with one of my teachers here in Chicago the other day. I think maybe we have talked about this before, but when you're in this space, you kind of need people like on the ground who are going to check you, people of knowledge who you respect. So let's say I record a podcast and it's completely like bogus, or I let the guest come on there and say all kinds of weird stuff. He's going to call me up and have a conversation with me about it. Or if he has a gripe about another podcast specifically, and because I'm part of this genre, I will like always give the benefit of the doubt to the podcaster. And I was like telling my shit, well, it's just the nature of the podcast genre. You don't know that this person's going to become like this. And one of his points was, you guys are allowing people who are not versed in the Islamic tradition to talk about Islamic stuff, posing as influencers. Like even us, to be honest, if we were to really, we're kind of talking about now, but I hope our saving grace for the both of us is that we can defer to the ulama and students of knowledge. And that's kind of his gripe, was like, yo, but you guys shouldn't have let him talk about it anyways, because dude doesn't know Arabic or what has he studied? And now he's talking about this topic. And we had a little back and forth, and I was kind of like, yeah, I see what you're saying. And part of the problem is I think we got sucked into the system of it. I don't know how I feel like Dubai is probably a lot more regulated, but in America, it's just whoever's hype will get the main stage at a convention or whatever. They could know diddly squat about Islam, but they get in the mic as long as they're charismatic or if they won some political office or whatnot. You know what I mean? So it enters my mind sometimes, like, do you people just back out of the scene completely? You think about the story of Imam Ghazali, the platform that he flourished in, and then realized what it did to his soul, and he just pretty much bounced. So is that something that ever enters your mind when we're talking about this kind of stuff? Because sometimes people say stuff on podcasts or whatever, or on Twitter, it just seems like they're just not thinking that they're going to be held accountable on the day of judgment for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's why I didn't write the book myself. I hired a team of philosophers to write it. I get where the Sheikh is coming from with regard to people speaking without knowledge. There are hadith about this, and paraphrasing here again, when you speak without knowledge, or the judge who judges without knowledge, they're going to be in a bad situation. So I get it from that perspective. And from that side of things, they're absolutely right. But sometimes when they try to police who speaks or who gets to speak or who gets platformed, they don't respect the intelligence of the Muslims. I'm listening, I hear somebody saying some nonsense. I'm not going to take it to heed. I'm not going to listen to him. I'm not going to apply what he's saying. Or I'll go look into it and find out what the truth is. Like you had recently, even though I like him a lot, Omar Leon talking some bullshit about Zionism and things like that. I disagree with him, but he's trying to practice his Islam the way he knows best, and he's a grown-ass man. He's an elder, to be honest. He's older than me. So, I mean, the dude has earned the right, and this is me despite disagreeing with his ideas. This guy has earned the right to say what he thinks. Maybe he's wrong. And then Allah is going to take care of that on the day of judgment. But you insult our intelligence by trying to control who we listen to, who gets to speak, who gets to say what. I mean, if you're so qualified, why don't you start your own podcast and start podcasting? I mean, people will listen to you. But the problem is these people have no charisma. They have no swag. They have no sauce. And so, not to disrespect the people of knowledge, but when you try to police people like this, it doesn't work out well in your favor. What you should do is compete in the marketplace of ideas rather than sit in your ivory tower with your books and your durus and your memorization. I mean, that's fine. If you want to do that, that's fine. But then don't come out and try to sort of be the gatekeepers of people who are out interacting with the public. You're a podcaster. Yes, it's a podcast, but you're interacting with the public as a public-facing Muslim. And you can't control who says what. You're going to try to have guests who are knowledgeable and things like that. But some people are just interesting to talk to, and they're going to have some weird ideas. And so you're insulting our intelligence as the lay people. The truth is clear and the falsehood is clear.